Elder Paisios, as he is known throughout the world, was born Arsenios Esnepidis in 1924. He was born in Asia Minor, but moved to Greece after the population exchange between Greece and Turkey in the aftermath of the Greco-Turkish War of 1922. The child was given the name of Arsenios, honoring Saint Arsenios the Cappadocian, who foresaw his monastic future. Saint Arsenios died soon after his baptism, and like prophets Elijah and Elisha, little Arsenios received the gifts of Saint Arsenios. In fact, later Saint Paisios would be devoted to Saint Arsenios for the rest of his life. After finishing school, Arsenios became a craftsman, a carpenter to be more precise. During the Greek Civil War that followed World War II, Arsenios was a radio operator, and he prayed to the good Lord to allow him to be wounded or killed, as long as he himself did not kill or wound another. His military service was marked by deeds of self-sacrifice and righteousness. As the war ended, and after successfully providing for his sisters and seeing them wed, Arsenios entered monastic life. Future Elder Paisios first got to the holy mountain of Athos in 1950. He initially entered Kutlumuseu Monastery, where he became a novice, and later moved to Esphigmenou Monastery. There, in 1954, he was finally tonsured a monk and given the name of Averkios. He was tireless in his monastic obediences, and when he would finish them, he would help up his brethren without discrimination. His spiritual life was greatly aided by reading of the lives of the saints, but especially of ascetical homilies of Saint Isaac of Syria. After his tonsure, monk Averkios went to the Philoteo Monastery. There he was granted a small schema and a new name, Paisios. He prayed fervently for the whole world, and he refrained from judging others. His approach was to always have a good reason to excuse someone's bad or even scandalous behavior. One famous story of his life is about a drunk monk. The pilgrims to Mount Athos were constantly scandalized by his behavior. Saint Paisios told them that when the monk was a baby, his mother would give him spirits in order to help him fall asleep, and therefore not draw attention to them by the Turks, and how this was necessary in order for them to survive. In 1962, the elder visited the monastery of St. Catherine on Mount Sinai, where he stayed for 2 years. There, he won over the hearts of the local Bedouins, for he bought them food with the money he earned by selling his wooden handicrafts. In 1964, the elder returned to the Holy Mountain. In 1966, a part of his lung was removed during a surgery. Novices from the local monastery of St. John the Theologian in Soroti donated blood for his surgery, and a great bond was formed between the elder and the sisterhood that would last until the elder's passing. They gave him their blood, and he, in return, left them his relics. In 1968, the elder resigned in the Stavronikita monastery, but kept correspondence with Elder Tikhon of the Hermitage of the Holy Cross. Soon, St. Paisios moved in with Elder Tikhon, staying in the hermitage after Tikhon's repose. Elder Tikhon bestowed the great angelic schema to Elder Paisios. That is when the fame of St. Paisios began to spread far and wide, and he would ceaselessly accept visitors. His hospitality and spiritual life left him with only 2 to 3 hours of sleep per day. His fragile nature and severe asceticism caused him illness that required professional treatment, and during such recoveries he would accept visitors in the women's monastery in Soroti. What made matters worse for him was an excruciatingly painful hernia caused by a heavy press by which he would make icons of the crucifixion, of the Mother of God, of Saint Arsenios. He would teach others that God greatly blesses people who suffer without complaining, and use their energy to pray for others. Saint Paisios was especially renowned for his clairvoyance, and not only did he know the names of many people who visited him, but also all the circumstances and the problems they faced, as well as spiritual remedies for their challenges. In 1993, Saint Paisios left the holy monastery for the final time, for he had to have an urgent cancer surgery. During his recovery in the monastery of St. John, he would still receive visitors, all the while greatly suffering. On July 12, 1995, he gave up his holy soul to the Lord. and was buried next to the church of St. Arsenius the Cappadocian in the monastery of St. John the Theologian. The Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople canonized Elder Paisios, assigning him the feast day of July 12th. Saint Paisios is one of the most venerated modern Orthodox saints worldwide. His counsels, thankfully collected in a number of volumes, helped and continue to help millions. He's indeed everyone's Athonite elder. Sadly, our limited time allows us only to paint the most broad brushes of his life, deeds, and spiritual life. If you'd like to find out more, read the book Elder Paisios of Mount Athos, written by Hieromonk Isaac. The link is in the description. May the good elder pray for us always. If you'd like to watch the video on a similarly humble and devoted saint, watch the video on Saint Sophia the Elderess.